Hi, I'm Olivia Thompson, a 16-year-old high school student. But maybe not your typical one. I have a passion for art that burns brighter than the sun. Unfortunately, in my house, it might as well be a flickering candle. I live with my parents, Mark and Linda, and my adopted sister, Emma. She's 14 and the apple of their eye. Olivia, have you seen Emma's latest test scores? Mom's voice cuts through the silence as I sketch in the living room. I sighed and set down my pencil. No, Mom. How did she do? Perfect score, as usual. We're so proud of her. I force a smile, but inside I'm screaming. It's always about Emma's achievements. Meanwhile, my latest art piece sits forgotten in the corner, gathering dust. Later that day, I vent to my best friend Zoe over the phone. I swear, Zoe, it's like I'm invisible in my own home. That's rough, Liv. But hey, didn't Mr. Johnson love your last painting? She reminds me. I smile, thinking about my art teacher's praise. Yeah, he did. At least someone notices. The next day at school, Mr. Johnson pulls me aside after class. Olivia, I've got some exciting news about an upcoming art competition. My heart races with excitement, but then a sharp pain in my stomach makes me wince. Are you okay? Mr. Johnson asks, concern written on his face. Yeah, just a stomach ache. It's nothing. I brush it off. The truth is, I've been having these pains for weeks, but I haven't told anyone. My parents are too busy with Emma, and I don't want to be a burden. That evening at dinner, I'm pushing food around my plate, the pain growing worse. I stay quiet. Emma, tell your father about your science project. Mom gushes. Emma launches into a detailed explanation, and I tune out. Suddenly, a sharp pain makes me gasp. Olivia, what's wrong? Dad finally notices. Nothing, I mutter, but cold sweat beads on my forehead. Are you sure? Mom asks, but before I can answer, her attention shifts back to Emma. I excuse myself and head to my room, clutching my stomach. As I lie in bed, I hear my parents talking in the hallway. Should we call Dr. Peterson about Olivia? Dad asks. Oh, I'm sure it's nothing, Mom dismisses. Did you see Emma's project outline? It's brilliant. Tears sting my eyes. Even when I'm in pain, I'm an afterthought. The next day at school, I'm in art class, trying to focus on my canvas. The pain is unbearable, but I grit my teeth. Mr. Johnson is explaining a new technique when suddenly the room starts spinning. Olivia? Mr. Johnson's voice sounds distant, but I can't respond. The last thing I remember is the cold floor rushing up to meet me. When I come to, the world is blurry, slowly coming into focus. I'm in a hospital bed, the antiseptic smell stinging my nose. My stomach feels like it's on fire. Olivia, can you hear me? A doctor I don't recognize is leaning over me. I try to nod, but even that small movement sends waves of pain through my body. I'm Dr. Chen. You're in the hospital. Your appendix ruptured, and we need to operate immediately. Suddenly, my parents burst into the room, looking flustered. Olivia, what happened? Mom asks, but before I can respond, her phone chimes and she glances at it. Dr. Chen turns to them, serious. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, Olivia's condition is severe. The infection could spread if we don't operate quickly. Dad nods but is busy tapping away on his phone. How long will the surgery take? We have a commitment later. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Dr. Chen looks shocked. Sir, your daughter's life is at risk. This isn't a minor procedure. Just then, Zoe rushes in. Liv, oh my God, are you okay? She grabs my hand, and I feel a lump in my throat. At least someone cares. As they prepare me for surgery, I drift in and out of consciousness, catching pieces of my parents' conversation. Mark, we can't miss Emma's science fair. She's worked so hard, Mom says. I know, Linda. Maybe we can take turns. One of us stay here, the other go to the fair, Dad suggests. I want to scream to tell them. I need them both, but the pain is overwhelming. The next thing I know, I'm being wheeled into the operating room. Dr. Chen looks concerned. Olivia, we're going to do everything we can. The rupture is quite severe, so there might be complications. As the anesthesia begins to take effect, I catch a glimpse of my parents standing by the door. Mom is on the phone. Emma, sweetie, don't worry. We'll be there for your presentation. Your sister's just having a small procedure. Small procedure? Tears slip down my cheeks as the world fades to black. When I wake up, I'm groggy and sore. Zoe is sitting by my bedside, not my parents. Hey, sleepyhead, she says softly. How are you feeling? Like I've been hit by a truck, I croak. Where are my parents? Zoe hesitates. They had to leave. Emma's science fair, remember. I close my eyes, fighting back the tears. Of course. Emma's science fair was more important than my life-threatening surgery. Dr. Chen enters, looking tired but relieved. Olivia, you gave us quite a scare. There were some complications during the surgery due to the severity of the rupture, but we managed to get everything under control. Complications? Zoe asks, squeezing my hand. Dr. Chen nods grimly. The infection had spread more than we initially thought. For a while, we were concerned. He trails off, then forces a smile. But you're a fighter, Olivia. You pulled through. I try to process the weight of his words. I could have died, and my parents aren't even here. When can I go home? I ask, though the word home feels hollow now. We'll need to keep you here for a few days to monitor for any post-operative complications. Dr. Chen explains before leaving. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Mom. Hope you're feeling better, sweetie. Emma won first place. We're taking her out to celebrate. Rest up. We'll visit tomorrow. I hand the phone to Zoe, unable to look at it anymore. She reads the text, her face darkening. Liv, I'm so sorry. This isn't right. I close my eyes, exhaustion and hurt washing over me. It's fine, I lie. I'm used to it. Hours later, I wake to the steady beep of machines. My body feels like it's been run over by a truck. The room is empty, and for a moment, panic sets in. Where is everyone? Time drags on before Zoe finally bursts into the room, her face a mix of relief and anger. Liv, I'm so sorry I couldn't be here earlier. How are you feeling? Like death warmed over, I say weakly. Where are my parents? Zoe's face falls. They're not here yet. Emma's science fair ran late, and they took her out to celebrate her win. I close my eyes, fighting back the tears. Even after major surgery, I'm still an afterthought. Later, Mr. Johnson visits, carrying a familiar portfolio under his arm. Olivia, I brought something to brighten up this dreary room. He pulls out my paintings and pins them to the walls. The burst of color against the sterile white feels like a piece of me in this place. You've got real talent, Olivia. Don't let anyone dim your light, he says warmly. His words bring some comfort, but the absence of my family leaves a cold pit in my stomach. Dr. Chen comes in for a checkup, his brow furrowed. Olivia, how are you feeling? Any pain or discomfort? I shake my head, but he doesn't look convinced. I've been trying to reach your parents to discuss your post-operative care. It's crucial that you have proper support during your recovery. Just then, my parents finally arrive, Emma in tow, all smiles and excited chatter. Olivia, honey, how are you? Mom asks, but her eyes keep darting to Emma's trophy. Dr. Chen pulls them aside, his voice low but stern. I strain to hear. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, I need to express my concern. Olivia's surgery was far more critical than you seem to realize. There were moments when we almost lost her. The words hit me like a ton of bricks. I almost died, and they weren't even here. But you said it was just her appendix, Dad stammers. A ruptured appendix is serious, especially when left untreated for so long. Olivia will need extensive care during her recovery. My parents look shocked, but then Emma interrupts. Mom, Dad, can we go show Grandma my trophy now? To my disbelief, they actually consider it. That's when Zoe steps in, her voice sharp. I've called my parents. They've offered to let Olivia stay with us during her recovery. For a moment, I feel relief, then guilt, then anger. Why do I feel guilty? Why do I need my best friend's family to step up when my own parents won't? As my family leaves, promising to visit soon, though I don't believe them, I overhear Dr. Chen talking to a nurse outside. It was touch and go for a while. If we'd waited any longer to operate, well, let's just say Olivia's lucky to be alive. The words echo in my mind. Lucky to be alive. And where were my parents during that life or death moment? Watching Emma win a science fair. The next weeks blur together in recovery and revelation. I'm moving with Zoe's family, and for the first time in years I feel seen. Zoe's mom checks on me regularly, making I'm comfortable and taking my meds. Zoe's dad cracks terrible jokes that somehow make the pain more bearable. "How's our young Picasso doing today?" he asks one morning, bringing me breakfast in bed. I smile, a genuine one this time. "Better, thanks. I can't thank you all enough for this." Zoe squeezes my hand. "That's what family does. Live, real family." Those words hit hard, but in a good way. Mr. Johnson visits often, bringing news that reignites my passion. "Olivia, there's this incredible art program I think you should apply for. It could be your ticket to bigger things." We spend hours working on my portfolio, and for the first time, I feel like my art matters, like I matter. The day I'm well enough to return home, I brace myself for the confrontation I know is coming. My parents greet me with all smiles and welcome homes, but I'm not buying it anymore. "We need to talk," I say, my voice steadier than I feel. "Of course, sweetie. What about?" Mom asks, distracted by her phone. I take a deep breath. "About how you missed my life-threatening surgery for Emma's science fair. About how you've always put her first, made me feel invisible." The room goes silent. Dad sputters, "Now, Olivia, that's not fair." "Not fair?" I laugh bitterly. What's not fair is nearly dying alone in a hospital while my parents celebrate my sister's trophy. Emma, who's been lurking in the doorway, suddenly explodes. "It's not my fault you're jealous of my success. Maybe if you worked harder." "Emma," Mom gasps, but I see it now, the golden child's true colors. I stand my ground. "I'm done being your afterthought. I'm staying with Zoe's family until I'm 18. Then I'm out of here for good." The aftermath is chaotic. Dr. Peterson, our family doctor who's known us for years, gets involved. He reports my parents to child services, citing medical neglect. "I've watched this situation deteriorate for years," he tells the social worker. What happened during Olivia's surgery was the last straw. My emancipation case moves forward, supported by testimony from Dr. Chen, Mr. Johnson, and others who've witnessed my parents' neglect. Meanwhile, my art starts gaining attention. A piece I created during recovery, a stark emotional portrayal of isolation in a family, wins a local contest, leading to a scholarship opportunity at a prestigious art school. Mr. Johnson beams with pride when I tell him, "You're going places, Olivia. Your pain has become your power." As news of my parents' neglect spreads, their carefully crafted image crumbles. Dad's law firm puts him on leave pending an investigation, and Mom's social circle, once a source of bragging rights about Emma's achievements, turns its back on her. Emma, unused to not being the center of attention, lashes out, but her outbursts only serve to highlight the dysfunction that's been simmering beneath the surface all along. On my 18th birthday, I stand in front of my new apartment, keys in hand. Zoe, her parents, and Mr. Johnson surround me, ready to help me move in. "You did it, Liv," Zoe says, hugging me tight. "You reclaimed your life." I smile, knowing that the girl in that painting, the one trapped in a family that never saw her, isn't just an image anymore. She's me, and she's finally, truly alive. Olivia's journey raises important questions about family dynamics and self-worth. What would you have done in her situation? Is cutting ties with neglectful family members ever justified, or should blood relations always be given another chance? Share your thoughts in the comments below.